Hey everybody, so today's video was going to be the guide for the 5th floor boss, Fuscus, this guy, the Vacant Colossus. So this fight is a two-part fight. For the first half, you're going to fight a floating head version of the boss that's weak against striking attacks. For the most part, this guy is actually fairly easy. The trick here is just to keep moving. He's always going to attack it where you were a half second ago. So as long as you, every other attack or so, just shift, like you're going to see me just rotating around him here, you're going to do just fine. Eventually, he's going to summon a couple of minions to come fight for him. They're pretty easy. They're a little bit on the tanky side. They're weak against slicing type moves. One thing you have to worry about with these guys, though, is sometimes they're going to actually just block your visibility and you're going to get shot. You can see right there, I'll put it up again in a second, I got blasted without even being able to see the boss, and that's one thing you have to watch out for. But again, if you keep moving, you should be just fine. So after that, he's going to make like Voltron, he's going to assemble the rest of his body parts, and this is where the real fight begins. The first thing I'm going to show you is his leap attack right here. It's pretty easy to avoid. He doesn't seem to actually aim it at anybody at all, and he kind of crouches before he pounces, so this isn't something I'm going to really worry about. It even marks it on the ground where it's going to go, so if you get hit by this, you deserve to get hit by this. The next move I'm going to talk about here is his upwards beam. Every once in a while, he's going to just lay down on his back and shoot right to the sky. It's pretty easy to stay out of the way. Just don't fight him from the front. Don't melee him from the front. Even your AI is from your AI companions are for the most part smart enough to dodge this. Check this out. You can clearly see Asuna just step right out of the way here. The next move we're going to talk about is his AoE. And this one's a little tricky at first for me until I realized two important things about it. One, he has sort of a pre-tell to this ability. So, about a second before the radius even goes down on the ground there, the ground will actually turn red. Like the little lights on the ground will actually change color ahead of time to give you even more pre-warning. Watch the floor under my character's foot right here. It's fast, but it gives you just enough time to dash even before he puts the radius on the ground, which can make a pretty big difference sometimes. The other thing to note with this ability is the AoE is only one attack. Those red circles that are moving outwards after he attacks are actually just for show. It's only the first or second wave that actually does damage. You can see I run right through it here and go in for the attack, which actually bought me a lot of time for farming it, but it also closed the gap that allowed me to get more abilities in. So he's got two more attacks still, and the next one is probably the most dangerous. He'll sometimes rip his arm off, spin around, and hit everyone in a circle. This can be super frustrating because he doesn't give you a lot of time to get out of the way. The best way I found to deal with this was to just run in, hit him once, hit him twice, use an ability maybe, one of the above, then get back out, dodge his attack, run back in. That's the best cycle for fighting this boss. Just never stretch out much more than 1 or 2 or 3 auto attacks or one ability. Check the range on this in slow-mo here. It's big enough, dodging almost isn't an option. You just need to not stay close to him for too long. The last ability we're talking about here is this charging ground pound move. It's fairly easy to dodge. The only thing I'm going to remind people on this one is he does still continue to do damage on the last half a second after he stopped using the attack. So if you're standing right in his back of his heels, you're going to take hits still. Just keep that in mind. Overall, I think the trick to this boss is to get down a bit of a rhythm of hit and run. You go in, you attack, you get out. You go in, you attack, you get out. He doesn't really give you any openings to just wail on him, so you're going to have to kind of keep cycling through that. Anyways, folks, I hope you found this to be a useful guide for you. Happy hunting. If you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to join me, just find me on English Server 1. And if you thought this was impressive, watch the video I did yesterday soloing this boss without taking any damage. It's wild stuff.